Ever since I found out I could talk to my grandpa in the afterlife through a psychic medium, I realized he has so many nuggets of wisdom to share with me, which I hope to share with you guys. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe down below. If you have any questions for Grandpa Luan, comment below and they might be featured in our next video. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
Like, he likes to gather wisdom. Like, it's interesting. It's like he understands the value of wisdom from perspectives that are diminished in the human form. Does that make sense? He's saying that humans diminish wisdom that is not their own, of their own type, of their own understanding. So humans do not take the time to appreciate the wisdom of other life forms that are not what we consider to be intelligent, which is a misconception. So he enjoys gathering wisdom from things, from life forms here that are overlooked and underestimated, because they have so much to teach. And they've taught him a lot in the afterlife. They've taught him a lot.
Wow.
But there's more things he does too, but that's what he showed me first. What else does he do in the afterlife, Luan? There's it's funny, he showed me this before, but there's like this game that he really enjoyed playing in life, it seems. And he does it up there too. Like,
with who?
Huh?
With who?
He's like made a group of friends up there that play this game, and it's almost like if you were to imagine, in those movies, like on like weekends, like the old timers get together in New York and like Central Park or whatever and play the chess tables kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like that feeling, like where it's a very distinctive game with this interesting dice, and he's shown it to me before, and he showed me just like this casual, like kind of like fun, little getting friends together and playing that game. I guess he must have really enjoyed it. I don't know. I don't know if it was something he played a lot in life or anything, but he showed it to me for some reason a few times. Showed me that too. I'm just gonna tell you what he's showing me. He was showing me like kind of like watching your parents closely, just kind of being around them a lot and like learning to just observe without and understanding the lessons they're learning without like the equivalent of worrying, which there's the vibrations that we experience here like denser than they could experience up in the higher realms. So like it's not the same density of worry here. It's just like the kind of equivalent of worrying up there. Like he looks at it. Your grandfather is very philosophical in the way he's viewing the human experience now. So he sees that, he watches them and with love and compassion, and it's sad for him sometimes to see how they are, but he doesn't let himself get wrapped up in that feeling. It's more of just like being there for them, like having a supportive energy.
When they pray, because the family is quite religious, or like the old folks, they're praying to like the saints, the God. Like, does that, while they're praying, do you see a bunch of saints and like angels just standing by them as they're praying, or they're kind of just doing their own thing? Like, I just wonder when people pray, what it does.
Well, I don't know if your grandfather's trying to be funny, but he showed that he's actually met a number of them up there and hung out with them, like talked to them, the saints, because that was something he was interested in life, like the religious aspect of things. He actually was curious and did meet a number of them in the afterlife, and like kind of just like gets to understand them and their wisdom. He's very much about like hearing different types of wisdom. That's very fun for him and very fulfilling for him. As far as like praying to saints, He's saying that yes, if you believe the saints are around you, then they'll be there for you. There's not like some sort of like, oh no, they only visit people like this. Like, yeah, like if you're sending a message out to a saint, like they're hearing you, but there's a misconception of like saints were just people that humans deem to have a certain level of consciousness or ability, and many of them have continued on to act as those types of guides in the spirit world. Like many of them have continued that role. Like they realize that they can continue to help people in the afterlife, and there's enough people praying for them and stuff that there is a niche, if you will, for their service. So it's not like it doesn't do anything to pray to the saints, but also the saints want people to know that that you don't have to pray to them in this state of unworthiness. That's not what they hope for humans or humanity. They want humans to know their own strength and power, and that they have God and love inside of them always. So I think if the saints could say anything, it's about that. It's that it hurts them to see how humans come to them in a state of unworthiness. That really hurts them, and it makes them. It hurts their ethereal hearts, one might say. It breaks their heart to see humans groveling like that, because humans have so much love and God within them. They are God. They're just an aspect of God expressing itself, himself, him, her, because it's the male and the female. That they just wish that there was more balance in the way people approach these types of communications, and it came from a place of knowing their own strength and power, and asking them for, not out of a state of complete and utter despair or like unworthiness, but as of I would love to hear your wisdom, saint, or help me, saint so and so. I would love to understand this better. Would you help me? Or please give me some insight or help, help to show me certain things. But like people usually, it's just become that over time. It's become very unbalanced, and that's something they're not really.
Wow. Maria, when you hear all these things from a grandpa, does it make you, because do you just go like, oh wow, like I didn't think of it that way, or like it's something like you're learning too, like saints and blah 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 and unworthiness? And
yeah, I've never thought about that. So yeah, I'm learning too. Some things I'm familiar with that he talks about, and some things I'm like, oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like I never thought about that, the saint's perspective.
Yeah, same here. I thought they were just floating. Like,
yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people do pray to saints.
Yeah. Does it bother? Is it like, I just want to know, edit this for my grandpa, like etiquette wise or whatever? Does it bother you that I'm like, hey, is my grandpa there?
No.
Okay.
Because he's already there. It's just a matter of
I mean,
he's
is he
there
available
with
to
you.
chat?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
it's
I
a matter of, depends on the medium state of mind and energy levels and things like that. But he's saying that like he's already like very close by, if not right there with you already. It's just a matter of, it's an alignment of vibrations and stuff that to create the open line of communication to receive a message.
Do they like, well, I guess I'll ask my grandpa, do you like hang out with grandma, or you kind of float around yourself and do your own thing? Like, I don't know, like couples in the afterlife, do they just kind of split off and forget, like do their own thing?
Well, that's a really interesting question. Yeah, they do their own things too. Yeah. I don't know why he showed me this. I don't know. There's something with plants for some reason with your grandparents, but he's showing me your grandmother has some sort of like ethereal kind of like growing flowers or something. kind of like different species of like flowers that she creates. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, do
Like,
they hang out with each other, or he just stops by and he's like, "That's a nice garden," floats off?
no, they do, but like, I guess the growth that they do in the things that they do in the afterlife, I think that's why he hasn't shown me that yet, because there's so much growth that's happened by taking the time to explore these things, because they know how they feel about each other. And also, here's the other thing he's showing me, is that they're never really apart, because when you get up there, you realize they're all just one, broken off into like
all of us are one.
Yeah, we're all just one anyway. So especially up there, you don't feel that sense of separation. So there isn't like well, I'll see you later. It's just everything's so instantaneous.
That's so cool.
That it's just not, there isn't this sense of like separation anyway. But it's enjoyable for them to dive into things, because in life too, there's this certain expectation for couples to do certain things, especially as they get older, like to be so attached at the hip, But there's a certain freedom that they enjoy in a state of love, but also freedom. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, but and I'm getting a lot of tingles when I said your grandmother, so maybe she's around now. But it seems like, I don't know why they showed me. She's kind of like a botanist in a way.
Oh.
But it's cool because up there you can create varieties that are just like out of this world.
Oh, like something in Avatar Land or whatever.
Yeah, like whatever. Like she combines different energies to make these really beautiful kind of ethereal gardens in a way.
Wow, Maria, I wish I could see what you're seeing.
It's really beautiful. It's cute. She just looks so at peace. I don't know. I'm realizing that I don't always get like accurate images of what they look like. It's more of like their essence.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But like, was your grandmother into like gardening or anything in life? Like, was she into like gardening or working with the land at all?
I don't know, because I never. I mean, like, I think maybe if you're poor, you grow your own plants, maybe, but it's not like you did it out of. I think it's more of maybe it's out of survival, not out of like enjoyment. But I don't know. Maybe.
Does your dad have a green thumb or anything? Like, is your dad good with plants or something?
My dad just waters them.
But
my mom and dad,
they both work with plants.
They both like their herb garden or whatever. They never do plant like flowers some for decorative, but most of it's like they grow their own lettuce and like herbs and stuff to eat.
A little bit of you have to have some sort of attraction to do that. I feel like there must be some sort of green thumb line running down there on your dad's side. Because it looks like your grandmother is doing that, and I just keep seeing it over and over. But it's cool too, because there's colors and stuff there so vivid and so vibrant that are just like unimaginable with these colors. I can't even perceive them fully, but it's the essence of feeling that there's these spectacular things. But it's cool. It's almost it seems very relaxing and peaceful. Yeah.
That's so cool that you can see that. I mean, like, I wish I could see her garden.
It's it's really, it looks really fun and really like, I mean, gosh, it's like endless the creations you could make,
Yeah, I forget you don't have to water that. You just
no.
Yeah.
But it's funny because they both seem like they have this kind of analytical streak in them, Your grandmother too. Like, there's maybe some sort of, there's like this kind of quality to them that's kind of like studying these things in a way, like in a casual way, but like especially your grandmother's more casual with it, but like they're fascinated by it. I wonder if your grandmother was more analytically minded, or I don't know. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, I didn't know her much.
Yeah.
That's That's pretty cool. She was more quiet, I think, than my. They were both quiet people, actually, but
Hey, your
again,
grandfather's really come out of his shell. Your grandmother still seems to have that. I don't see her talking at all. She's very much like in her zone, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny. Your grandfather has really come out of his shell. I almost feel like he had such a hard life, and he had so much pain and suffering and worry and stress and exhaustion that it just like took the life out of him, you know. And it's like he's light as a feather now, so he's just like his real personality is like really coming through. He's just, yeah, I think he learned a lot from this life that he had, and yeah, it's fascinating. It's all very fascinating to him, but he just loves what you're doing.
Oh.
Yeah, he really always reiterates that in a way. So, yeah. Any other questions you got?
Yeah. It's funny because as you keep talking, I'm like, oh my gosh, this stimulates another thing. But like, with all your suffering in life and hardship and poverty and everything, what was the life lesson or lessons that, or like why, like what was the learning thing from it?
There are many lessons, but the main, like how you could say, an overarching theme of lessons was kind of there was this feeling of learning to relinquish the sense of control. Like he had to learn how to survive without knowing things, like without definitive answers, without knowing things, without like there's a lot of instability, and to be able to find peace within all that was a big one. But also another big one for him would be I'm seeing it in like an abstract way. I'm trying to put it into words. Another one that he sees now from his perspective is the power of fear, and how it can stifle who you really are. He sees what fear does to his family. He saw what fear did to him in his life and how it affected him. The fear of losing children, the fear of not knowing what happened, and the fear of not being able to feed his children and the generations after that, the fear of someone being inconvenienced, by his death, all these fears all the time, all these worries, and the fear of disobeying God, all these fears like run amok in your energy, and he feels so free now because he realized how much of a burden he was carrying, like Atlas with the world on his shoulders, kind of a intensity of this intense sensation of weight from all the fear he had, and even the way even though he was providing a service that could really help people, there was a lot of fear embedded into it from his own fear base. And that's a big lesson he really wishes to impart, is that fear is just it can be very useful, but it can be very destructive. And it's not fair to put your fear onto others, and that most people don't even realize that they are fearful and that they are putting that fear onto others. Like he didn't even realize he was doing it.
Wow. And then finally, when Maria and I pass away in the afterlife, how can we learn to be such a kick-ass medium? I mean, spirit. And just be able to, like, connect to, like, how he connects fairly quickly, and he's very good at communicating.
It has to do with this openness. When he crossed over, he really embraced the feeling of freedom and also embraced like gathering knowledge. And it taught him how to be a really good communicator even in the afterlife. But part of that came from being able to communicate these ideas in the physical world. But when he crossed over, he took that curiosity and that analytical aspect of himself, his consciousness, and really dove into understanding these things. He personally spends a lot of time understanding how energies work together, vibration, frequency, showing me color frequency, the vibrations that make up colors. Very fascinated by life forms other than human beings, and just kind of understanding how it all works together and creates the physical world. So basically, the main factor is being open, coming in and just in fully embracing and not having any fear, and knowing that it's a truly beautiful thing. And when it's your time, um, it'll be an easy thing, and it'll feel natural and right. And and of course, he'll teach you the ropes.
Thank you
But
so much.
he's
I always appreciate talking to you.
He really enjoys it. Yeah, he really enjoys. It's cool because he's kind of showing me that he would have loved to do this with you in life, like be able to mentor you and to like take you under his wing. It would have made him so happy to have had the opportunity. But he's saying that it's even greater now because there's no limitations to how he can help you, mentor you, and also he can give you better information now than he would have been able to give you in life, because he just really wants to nurture you and help you grow, and he's very invested in that. And so to him, this is like the best of all worlds, really. Like he sees you going down the similar kind of path, but you're like the 3.0 version, and he really loves that. He loves bonding with you, so he's happy to do it. And yeah, it's enjoyable for him.
No. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'll sign him off. Thanks, Juan.